5 or 6 weeks. So, and all my off time I've moved. So that's been awesome. But yeah, just living the dream. So
and then making you go to London next week. So you're enjoying a little bit of time at home.
Nothing like, I think it's like the most American thing ever to spend 4th of July in London.
Okay, so you'll love this. I was thinking, like, what should I say to, like in the rebranding of their box and all the stuff that's happening that's really fun. And I was like, well, it's the 4th of July, so I could make some joke about like overturning tyrants. And then I was like, but they were on the other side of that, so they might not be so thrilled that the Americans coming on 4th of July. But it'll be fine. It'll be funny.
For sure. Well, yeah, so I think we just wanted to hop on because we haven't hopped on in forever. Obviously, we can explain why here in just a second because we're everywhere we've been. But give folks a quick update of what's been happening, where we're going, and then kind of how everyone can be involved.
Sounds good.
You want to? Yeah. So please feel free to jump in because all this stuff's kind of fresh in my head now. But so if we go back, I don't know, a month or so ago, I mean, the big news is we got first seminar off the ground. So we want to especially thank Bill and Katie of Rogue for hosting that and kind of more importantly, like being part of the first 100 affiliates. So it was awesome.
And being so sweet about hosting us as like a staff for that private dinner or drinks, whatever. That was really kind and generous.
So, I mean, to see like I guess even going back even further, like all the Cambridge meetings, getting the content laid out there, getting the academy staff up to speed, and big props to Pete and the guys for really kind of tackling that head on and really delivering an awesome experience for the affiliates and trainers and doctors and everybody else who was there. But yeah, so we're off and running on the seminars, and we've got another one this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know Greg's going to Santa Cruz. He says he wants to try to go to as many of them as he can. I think they're trying to figure out where they're going to be this summer because Idaho has had horrible fires and the smoke is really bad near their house. Last year, summer was hard. So I think he's based in Santa Cruz right now. And I know he's said to me yesterday he wants to get the affiliate calls going. He really loves that. So I sent a message out. We have Discord forums, which I think most of the owners know about. There's a lot of really cool stuff happening on the back end of the website for affiliate owners too. So there's a channel that I have with all the owners. And I just put a message in there this morning about people who haven't yet had a call with Greg that we'll prioritize them. Yep. I assume that we have a list somewhere of who's been on or who hasn't, but I think most people have done one with him. But since he's been gone, we've added a bunch more affiliates. So I think we will try to prioritize those people. Yep. And then I know people love those, but I also think it's important to keep them to like 12 people so everybody gets a chance to really talk to him. So I think we should, if you're not on that Discord forum or the back, you can access it through your portal or separately through the Discord app. But that's a great way to let us know you haven't been on a call yet and you'd like to be. My guess is they'll happen on Mondays again. That's when we were doing them before.
Yeah, it's kind of seemed where he liked it. I was kind of throughout the course, I was texting FOMO pictures to Greg, and he was like, "I'm gonna be at as many of these as possible." So it was good. Yeah, I'm sure he was looking for an excuse to get off a boat in Greece at that time. But yeah, so it was really cool, like I said, to see that 2-day course come together and just kind of see the natural evolution of the information. And it was kind of nerve-wracking for me to see that. I know, only imagine how you felt about it. But to see what the folks were able to take and just deliver on. And not only that, but like the response from the owners and the trainers there on how impactful it was. And it's no small feat to take such a high level of the information. And then in my mind, I was looking at the success metric of, okay, well, what does this look like in like deployed tactically at the affiliate level? And I think all those questions were answered. So kudos to Pete, Chris, Megan, even we got an international rock star and Carl that came across the pond for the first one. So kudos.
And Carl is like officially sort of heading up those efforts in Europe now that we're there and there's such demand. I had said we would launch the seminar in 2026. in Europe, but it's going to happen sooner than that because there's too much happening over there. So that's exciting. And I think like we have to just take a second and acknowledge Pete and that team. I mean, this is not easy material. And I think, Bob's been looking at this stuff and obviously helped write Outlive and did all the research for that and knows a lot of the stuff, but on such a deep level that, the process was sort of like Greg and I talked about what was needed to go into it. Bob sort of put the first draft together. Those of you who saw the first draft know that it was like a medical textbook. I then tried to translate it into language that was a little bit better. And then really Pete, I made scripts for them, but they're very different now. There's some analogies that have crossed over. Pete really took an amazing amount of ownership of that and worked with the staff. I mean, we, obviously everybody came here several times. But like also just now we have this really cool onboarding training program for people who will be onboarded to be added to the Academy staff. And Pete has led the charge on that, both from like the scientific side and how to communicate, as well as training a lot of people. And I mean, like the demand for those positions was huge. There were a lot of very talented, well-qualified people that came to us and said, we really want to be on this mission with you guys. And Pete had the tough job of picking who was going to be on the first team. We don't have enough seminars yet to have a huge roster. And I like to be really honest with people about, the risk associated with it and the fact that we don't know exactly where this is all going to go. And yet still people were willing to make that sacrifice and get in really deep on the science side, which is not easy. I mean, it's grueling, and then make it, the version it is now, which I could not be more proud of. And I think, we still have these weekly meetings and we're still refining the material. And I think that will be ongoing. I know Greg had said to me, like, you're being crazy by trying to do this all so fast, that it took him years to write the articles and develop the material and morph them into lectures. But I think, because it's not just one person doing it, we have a whole team. We were able to get this done relatively quickly. I mean, it's been about a year that we've been working on it. But I think it's really important to acknowledge that, like, this is such a group effort, and we would not be able to have done this, nor would the product be where it is today, without a lot of feedback and a lot of help from people. And I think, I just can't say enough about that Academy team and their determination to make this a brilliant class, which I really think it is now. And I think, we did surveys after Rogue, and so we got honest, anonymous feedback from people, and it was emotional. I mean, it was really overwhelming to me how people were responding to the material, how badly they had wanted this education, and how excited they are. I mean, I love going, like last night when I was going to bed, I was looking on Instagram at the posts that we had been tagged in, which I just don't do, but now I'm going to. And it is so like overwhelmingly cool to see how our owners are giving these lectures and giving whiteboard talks and running special population classes, which is really Michelle. And, really want Michelle to develop another class for us. So her material is essential. Her experience is wonderful to be able to share that with people so they feel they leave the class and they can go back and not only bring in all these new members that they don't have yet, but better serve the members they do have that they didn't know exactly how to communicate this to, or they didn't realize how essential it is. That to me that's everything. That's what gets me up in the morning. And I think it's really what drives all of us. And it's just like, it's really cool to see it actually all happening and going so well.
Yeah. And to kind of dovetail on that, because her lecture was my favorite one. And that's where it kind of fits nicely where the education and affiliation come together. And the reason is, like, our affiliates are looking, they've already done a great job at serving their traditional clients. And the course, it kind of talks about who traditional clients are. And they have to have, that's got to be the foundation of their business. And they've had to have time in the game with experience delivering results to those folks. And now they're kind of looking for the next step. They're looking through continued education, to be able to continue their impact within their neighborhoods and their communities. And that's honestly, like, that's the reason I'm working for this company, is I've had that experience as well through my affiliate here in Portsmouth. And the question was always like, okay, Dale, well, how do you scale this? How do you teach other places in the country how to do that? And that's what we're doing through the MetFix affiliate program. And specifically Michelle, being able to have folks like Michelle. And for folks who don't know, like, Michelle ran the beloved term old folks program that CrossFit and Greg put on back in the old HQ building. And she grew that from 12 people to 200 or something. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, I think it was like over 250.
Yeah. And that's what we mean by when we say specialty populations or specialty programs. It's beyond the traditional client who comes into your gym. And I've had experience with folks in recovery, and we have folks like Matt and Debbie who are really kind of trailblazing, working with folks in juvenile probation and actually inside of prisons. And then a cool part, like, probably letting the cat out of the bag, but like, we've got an affiliate with the New York Police Department, and we're also working on standing one up with the Federal Air Marshals. So we want to be able to serve first responders. And
talks with the Ohio Department of Public Safety. I mean, that's happening. Yeah. A lot of that stuff is.
So our folks are hardcore focused on working with specialty populations and programs. And our job on the HQ content and affiliation side is to be able to provide them the tools to make them successful. And then kind of in parallel, develop that connections with other leaders in that space to talk lessons learned and best practices. So the fact that her piece is in that seminar is such a valued thing. And also I talked to her I don't even know what day, 2 days ago, but she's going to be the first guest. And we're going to have an upcoming, basically academy staff interview show to where we kind of get into their background, dive more in depth into the topic they provide, and then just be able to open it up to our current affiliates to ask questions. And that's going to be, I'm really excited to get that off the ground.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate two things you said, because I think they're really important to just emphasize. And one is that, the feedback on people feeling like reinvigorated is really important, because I think, like, you had said this to me, a while ago, that like you've been running your box for a long time, you love it, but the new material just sort of reminds you why you're in the game, you're challenged mentally, and then you are in there and you're present in a way that you haven't been in a long time. And I think, my experience with the 3 gyms that I had and the curriculum that we built, I always say this, but it's like, it's really important. I thought it was going to be really powerful for the members, but I didn't realize how it was going to reinvigorate my coaches. And I think, I had a lot of members who had been there for many years. You have a lot of members who had been at your gym for many years. It's reinvigorating the members. It's reinvigorating your coaches. And it starts with the ownership, but it's really got this magical trickle down effect in terms of bringing new life and energy into what you all do. That's so important. And it doesn't take away from what you've been doing for the last 10 years. It's just sort of like, oh, this is like new information that's really essential, that backs up what I had been doing. But by backing it up, it gives you a new layer of emphasis, because you realize, like, once you take that class, I do not think that you can eat carbohydrates and think about them the same way. You start understanding how your body uses fuel, and it changes, just like any new thing that you learn, your perspective on why things go wrong or why they go right. And I think that's super exciting to me. And I think the other thing about the specialty populations thing, just even from a business perspective, and I mean, Michelle talks about this a little bit, but like, people who are really deconditioned or sick with a chronic disease do not want to go work out at a place where everybody's super fit and healthy. And so the special classes, I am, obviously a big fan of and really championing, because I think, like, if you have a type 2 diabetes class, it's just for people with type 2 diabetes. You're not just getting them healthier, and you're not just educating them in ways their doctor doesn't have time to do, but you're also bringing a community of people together who will continue to support each other, which increases consistency and all of the other metrics that we know are really important in the game. And I just think, like, that's a huge that's 80% of the country, right? Yeah. And 80% of the country that the traditional gym market is not serving, that would benefit far better from the program and is desperate for help, right? That's our audience. And there are plenty of people who have parents who have died of heart attacks or had a stroke, and they're looking for this too as prevention. But having the people in the special classes, for me, is really a sweet spot. I mean, it's like, if you want to look at how much you can increase somebody's life expectancy or output, and that's what drives you as a coach, those are the people that you are going to wake up every morning feeling really great about, right? And I think that this curriculum allows you to serve them, and honestly allows you to, if their doctors push back that they shouldn't be doing a program like this, you're educated enough to explain to them like why it works. The resource library, which we should talk about, has tons of resources and more every day. I mean, I think in the next week, there'll probably be double the amount that there are in there now. And that's all medical literature and things we've written and things that, we've compiled that you can share with doctors to help educate them as well. So it's really like this sort of full circle, all encompassing, program and platform that's based in education that allows you to be the best coach you can be and serve the populations that need it the most.
Exactly. End of the day, like the focus isn't teaching people how to shave seconds off their workout times. It's teaching people how to add quality years to their members' lives. And that's really and that's where we want to be able to help the people who need it the most. And that's where the affiliates are focused on. And our job is to continue to give them the tools and the educations to support their endeavors in that. So,
and I think, the other thing to mention is Greg will say that he doesn't want to go around teaching push press anymore. And I said at the beginning of the Rogue, seminar, like there would be no point in us spending a ton of time teaching movements to affiliates that have 10 plus years experience, right? Like they know that. What they don't know is what we're most excited about, which is this energy system education. It's the understanding of how mitochondrial health drives overall health and performance. And I think, Greg's, I don't want to teach push press. It's like, we don't want to teach push press. You don't want us to teach push. If you're a MetFix affiliate, you've been in the game for a long time. You probably have movement down. It would be like just sort of a weird cash grab for us to be like, we're going to teach you how to do movement when you're already excellent at that. We're going to teach you things you don't know yet. And I think that's why saying it's the cream on the cake and all the other things that Greg says, or picking up where he left off, is really important to reiterate. This is not the same stuff. And so I think Pete did a podcast recently, and I thought he said it perfectly, which was that, we've basically flipped the L1, which is what Greg, asked me to do with the curriculum, was like, if the L1 is 20% nutrition, which is probably being generous, and 80% movement, flip it. And that's exactly what we've done. So I think we have one lecture right now that's really on exercise, and the breakout workouts are all talking about energy pathways while you're working out. So it's not even the same movement stuff that you would get from there. So I think I just want to clear up some of that confusion, because I feel like it keeps being circulated despite the fact that we have all these people who have taken the class now and are trying to clear it up. But
yeah. And if you look at this like on a practical level, and this is what I tell folks on the calls with, is like, I primarily see this content and information through two platforms. One is retention for your current clients. And like, you will now be able to give them as much information at the frequency that you want on metabolic health. And, if you've been in the game for a while, like, you can kind of see that your members' goals start to evolve beyond performance metrics, and they want more health related information. So like, one of the things that I'm super excited about that we're currently developing is, coming up with a series of 52 whiteboard briefings based upon the content in the course. And you could go as deep or as shallow within that as you want. And like a real easy example is just like a 5-minute whiteboard brief that you can give weekly, biweekly, monthly, daily, whatever you deem necessary. And your member, like, we've started doing that at my gym, and like, it's super hot here right now, right? So it's like a heat wave, and I'm like, okay, well, let's give a little talk about hydration. And I was astounded at the lack of understanding of like basic hydration, and that times 100 is when it comes to nutrition. So that's what we want to be able to provide, and that's the kind of the tools that we're giving. So that's a retention piece to current members. And two, like, this, like you were saying, this opens you up to a whole new pipeline of clientele who are absolutely intimidated and scared to join a gym, your gym or any gym in general. So if you can lead with the education and information, and then kind of trickle the fitness in on the back end, you're going to be able, this is going to open up a pipeline for them to come into your community in 4 to 6 weeks after they've already absorbed and understand the nutrition stuff up front. So it's two things. It's retention for current clients, and two, it opens up the pipeline for a market that you've yet to penetrate.
Well said.
All right. So should we talk New York?
Sure. It was a great trip.
Yeah.
So we went to this fitness conference and met with a lot of really great people. And I don't want to give away too much information because it's a little bit too soon for that. But I ended up meeting with a lot of executives from other fitness companies. And there's a ton of interest in what we are doing. I think people are, in the larger scheme of things, are recognizing that a high level of education like this is what a lot of clients and, from their perspective, like a business opportunity that exists to really serve these people. And I think, some of the stuff happening nationally with Maha or whatever is bringing all of these issues to light. So I had dinner with Callie Means and a group of executives, and we were talking about some of the stuff happening at HHS. And we were talking, these guys were all really well informed, right? I think it used to be that we thought we were kind of in a silo. We knew sugar was bad. We knew all these things. And it turns out like that message has gotten out, right? A lot more people are aware of that, but they don't have the deep dive. They don't have the, Bob Kaplan level of biology and physiology and exercise phys and all of that in one component to develop a class for them, nor do they have some of the other sort of tech products and things that we're coming out with. And I was, I think I've said from the beginning, we want to partner with other people. And Greg and I are very much on the same page that this education is essential for people to know. And the farther and wider we can spread it, the better. And I was talking to him yesterday on the phone about some of these deals. And he's like so over the moon excited because it's a great way for us to, sort of like own the material and have it be ours, but spread it much farther than just our MetFix affiliates. I think it makes the MetFix affiliates really special and powerful because they will be the place that you can go to get this, while also trying to educate other people on it as a sort of, branding opportunity or whatnot, without giving away a lot of the information, since that some of that hasn't even been worked out yet. But it was really cool because I just sort of think like there's a lot of people in the fitness space who are really excited about collaboration and really positive and really, really thrilled about what we do, and a recognition that they don't do that and they can't do it. And so I think, within the next year, we'll probably have some major announcements about how that grows and how it supports our affiliates and our community specifically by building credibility around all of that, and the interplay between the medical world and the personal trainer professionalizing the coach. For me and Greg feels like that's the original mission that we can do a much better job of now that we have a big medical community that's open to this and aware of what their limitations are, which the coach doesn't have. Mm-hmm. And so, I wish I could share more about how these partnerships play out, but they're massive and they're really, really exciting because it sort of solves for some of these problems that, we've been trying to figure out how to solve for.
Yeah. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but it was impressive, not only like who the meetings were with, but their interest level in developing a partnership. So can't wait for that to come to fruition.
Yeah. And I think even the people, we're having this big health conference that Karin is heading up, which I don't know that we've actually announced yet, but it's in May of next year in Miami. And some of the speakers we have are literally like the world's most best, famous, cool people looking at these problems and solving for it. And they're like basically all saying, yes, like, please let me come, please let me speak. And the sponsors, we're being really picky about sponsors. So I may be driving Karin a little bit crazy on that front, but she is very wise to all of this. And we're picking sponsors that will be of use to the affiliates and in line with everything that we really believe in. And so I'm really excited for that. And I think she was amazing in New York and just met so many cool people and was able to really think more broadly about both the sponsorship and also like how the health conference really brings together our medical society, our affiliates, our coaches, and, people who want more information. So I think that's going to be very, very exciting.
Yep. So next stop next week. Have you even bought your tickets yet?
I'm going London, New York, Santa Cruz. So I'm like not home. July is gone.
Okay. Well, we're coming to London. We are. It's the American invasion of UK on Independence Day. Nonetheless,
you're just gonna wear like an American Speedo the whole time.
I'm just not wearing. Yeah, it's gonna be greased up in a banana hammock and a cowboy hat, and I'm gonna make friends wherever I go. But we're coming on the 4th of July, and it's kind of cool. So I've known there's a couple good friends of mine in my sister city of Portsmouth, England.
That's what I think is so cool. We got Portsmouth, US, and we got Portsmouth, England.
Yeah, and they're they're veterans. Actually, they're active duty Navy, and they're just really good people. For the last couple of years, we've kind of linked up and we've done a Portsmouth row challenge, so like a 24-hour rowathon to kind of meet in the middle of that distance, and it all goes to veteran nonprofits. So those dudes are solid guys, and they have the distinct honor of being the very first UK MetFix affiliate. So they're going to have a big party, big grand opening. So me, you, and Carl are going to travel down there to hang out with them for that day. Then we're going to get back in the car Saturday morning and head to MetFix London Bridge. And we're going to do like a little MetFix muster with all our UK and EU folks, and it's getting close to sold out if it's not already. Last time I checked, we were in the 40s. So
we capped at 50, right?
Yeah, capped at 50, and so they're going to be able to hear from you. They're going to be able to hear from Carl, kind of talk about.
I think he's doing the "What is MetFix" lecture from.
Yep. Okay. He'll do the "What is MetFix" lecture, and then I'll kind of go into a deep dive of what it means to be affiliate and kind of who we're looking for and the mission behind that. So that'll be 5:00 on July 5th. Yep. And so the link's on our website. So if you want to come on down, we'd love to see you and chat in person and talk more about the mission.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think that we have some French affiliates that are coming. Somebody from Portugal messaged me the other day. So I think a lot of the MetFix European affiliates are trying to make it. I mean, it was very last minute. I think like when they announced that they were doing their reopening, I was like, Carl, I should come. And he was like, oh my God, would you? And I was like, yes. And I'm going to make Dale come too. And then we're all going to talk. And so it's like, I feel badly because I think there's a lot of people. I mean, there's so much interest over there. And I know that having had calls with a lot of them, there's a sense of like really just excitement that we can go. And I've been pointing out that like for me, getting to London is the same flight as me getting to Santa Cruz. So like, it's not really that big of a deal for me. And, I went to high school in Italy for a little while. So I'm excited to get back and hang out as much as I can. So I also think like we should say like, this isn't the only trip we're going to do for a long time. Sure. There's going to be a lot more visits over there coming up.
Yeah. And obviously that we're open for international affiliation, obviously. And then I know Carl and Pauline are getting ready to schedule out and announce the first international MetFix course. So that'll probably pop off in January. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah. And that team over there is insane. They are just as talented as the team we have here. I mean, we've really been lucky that so many talented people have contact. I mean, I didn't know a lot of these people before, and I'm just like blown away by their interest. And that's obviously the name of the game. We want the best of the best being our teachers.
Yeah, for sure. So that's London. And then, like I said, we got
right after that
Santa Cruz, right? Yeah. So
yeah. And Hollis is hosting at Santa Cruz, MetFix Santa Cruz, which is cool. A lot of history there. Greg is going to give the opening talk for that one. And I wouldn't be surprised if we plan some sort of social thing also to go along with it. So I think that'll be a really fun one. That's sold out, right? I think
so. I'll have to go back and look, but
and then they're basically like twice a month moving forward.
Yep.
So there's plenty of other ones around the country. Charlotte might be sold out too. I think they're definitely selling out, but I think we're adding more too. So like 2026 calendar is Pauline is building all of that out now.
Yep. Yeah. So Salt Lake City this weekend, Santa Cruz, and then end of July down in Charlotte. So that's at least the next 30 days, which is all I can probably wrap my head around right now. Yeah. And then, so do you want to talk about, kind of the two courses we've got available right now?
Well, so, I mean, I think we should talk a little bit about the extension class because I
Yeah.
don't know if we've done that yet. So the extension class is a part of the seminar. So once you sign up for the seminar, you get access to an online class. And that class has been built and designed to basically allow you to come in at different levels. So if you come in and you feel really overwhelmed by the information, there's a sort of simpler path that's a good prep to the in-person event. And then there's a more closely linked to the actual seminar material. And then there's a deeper dive. So we have, I mean, when we first put this together as a manual, it was about 300 pages. It was very dense. And I didn't want to get rid of that information because I felt like there are people who are going to want to go that deep. And so we've sort of compiled a lot of that into what we're calling the extensions class. So you get that as soon as you sign up for the seminar to help prepare you if you want. If you don't, I mean, like nobody at Rogue had that beforehand.
Yep.
And everybody seemed to get a lot out of it. So you shouldn't feel pressured to take the class or complete the class online. That's not the point. It's just to be supportive of your experience, how you want to have it. And then it's available to you for a year afterwards, after you take the class. Because the goal for us is really to educate you, and it's to make sure that you have a mastery of this information so you feel confident teaching it in your gym or your doctor's office or your facility. And so we wanted to make sure that it wasn't just like 2 days and you're done and best of luck. It's that this is like really about continuing education and ongoing. And so the other piece of this extension class is available as an online tool. Obviously, once you sign up for the seminar, you get a login if you don't have one already. All of the affiliate owners do, but if you're a coach, rather, obviously coaches are able to take this class too, along with doctors or anybody really who wants to. But then they also, after you take it, you will have access to these emails, which are what Dale was talking about before. And they're again, there's like a summary, and then there's a longer passage. There's a suggested whiteboard talk, and then there's a very long deep dive into the topic, which you can, some of them are 20 pages. So they're not your typical email, but they definitely allow you to continue to learn this stuff and reiterate the points that are made during the seminar so that you get to hear, whether it's like a different analogy or a different way of explaining a concept. I find often that when I'm trying to understand complicated stuff, I don't get it the first time, or I need somebody to explain it to me in a different way. So I think that's sort of what we've tried to do is that, there's lectures, there's the in-person event, there's the online class, there's lots of bits that we have on our YouTube channel that, go into some of the stuff. There will be more of that. We're clipping up the seminars from Rogue. Santa Cruz will be also media coverage. So there'll be more of that. But just for the people who take the class, you get this sort of like back end, the extensions class, the emails, and then the forums, I think, are really important. So every class has their own forum, which means that you can connect with the people before you go and, make dinner plans or whatever you want, or I should say, you can talk about the material. So people can ask questions and they can say, like, I still don't really get lipolysis, or like Ross is really like, I can't remember, is it when the cell is full or when it's not full, or, whatever it is. And your classmates can help you. And I really wanted to build that out the way we did, because I remember when I took my L1 and it was the first group of doctors, and we all formed these great relationships and a lot of us are still in touch with each other. And the forums just make that really easy so that, you're not trying to find people, you're all in this group, and then you can connect individually through the back end too. But it's a great way to sort of ask for help or share ideas. And those forums are really, really exciting to me because there's a lot of communication happening in a very collaborative, generous way where owners are helping each other out. And I think that's the name of the game. And again, I think like this isn't a scarcity model. 80% of the country needs your help. So there's no sense that like this, you should be in competition with each other. The sense is we are all here working constantly to try to get this information to people to save lives. And I think, the more we support each other and share best practices, what's working, what's not. I know we have somebody who I've been in touch with about like a dietitian who's in his gym and how they're just constantly pushing back on stuff. And it's just this ongoing conversation. And like, I'm happy to be supportive of that and help, sort of fuel those discussions, whether it be with research or whatnot. And I think the owners are all in this together, which is so nice and so positive and so rewarding for people. You don't have to feel like you're alone in your community fighting this battle. You really have an army of people around the world now who are doing the same thing, who you can really easily connect with on the back end.
Yeah, and that's something that's kind of overlooked a lot, is especially from an affiliate owner standpoint. It's super lonely gig. And you get so wrapped into the intricacies of your business, trying to take care of everything, that a lot of times it could lead you to believe that you're out there alone on an island. And we want to be able to try to tackle and solve that problem. And the way we do that is, we can do it as much as we can digitally, like you said, through the forums and through the back end connection tools. But, to me, like the magic sauce is in person. So not only do the seminars give you an opportunity for an in-person gathering for education, but the way that course is designed is like you get into your small groups and like you really quickly bond together over the material and being able to ask questions and go back and forth. And that's just step one. And more importantly, like it's very cool to see all the affiliates now and like where they're going to be 2-3 years from now. And what I mean by that is just like, hey, we're not giving you a prescriptive model that you got to go do at your gym on day one. It's like, we want you to go experiment and fail and figure it out and then talk to one another to be able to provide the best practices and lessons learned. And to me, that's kind of where the magic sauce is, because it's just it's such a renewal and reinvigorating the original mission of why we all got into this in the first place.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I mean, I think, the thing that's sort of interesting about all of that too is that I think, we're all, I can speak for myself, learning a lot from the owners too.
Yes.
And so I think, since we think that our job is really to serve them, it's not the other way around, right? They are not serving us. We are here to help you guys do the best work you can and be as effective and efficient as you can. And so I love the open model in part because we're not giving directives. We're giving scaling options and we're talking about how you can talk about it. And the seminar is designed to be very interactive. So after every lecture, there's a breakout group and you go into a very small group of people and you talk about the lecture and you have to figure out how are you going to use this? And it's led by coaches. So you're not stuck there just trying to figure it out on your own. They obviously have suggestions and will lead you through. But that hands-on approach being something that happens after every lecture is so important because, I love popping around and listening to the ideas that people are coming up with. I only know what I know. I'm learning so much from how people want to apply this, how they've tried to apply it, what's worked, what hasn't. And now to see all these people doing really different, cool things. Like some of these, even like the chronic disease classes that I'm especially interested in, some people are doing it where they're working out with members 3 days a week, and then they're having them come back in for 2 hours, 2 different days. So they're in the gym 5 days a week now, a special program. And those other 2 days are classroom talks.
Yep.
So a lot of our material as a classroom. And it's, again, like very interactive with your members, but it's a different format. And then there's other people who are weaving the material into their general classes, as talking points, or like you were saying, like, we've got these whiteboard ideas, some of which the academy staff is trying out, where they put, a sort of like provocative statement on a whiteboard. And then that's talked about throughout the workout, right? So there's so many different ways of incorporating this. And we have suggestions on how to do it. But the truth is, in application, the owners are figuring out what works for them, and it's different for different people. And that variety is really cool.
Yeah, and it made me think, like, I think one of my favorite parts about the course was just deadlifting with my friends at the end of day one. Like, we were demonstrating what strength is and how that affects the metabolic system. So But then it's just like me and 3 of my longtime affiliate owner friends were just lifting weights together. And like that, like of everything, that's one thing that I latch onto. So it's just another example of like ways to build connection inside the course. So,
and then we had the doctor who like saw me on American Thought Leaders, started following Broken Science, got really interested in like the medical society and all the research and the webinars that we're doing, which we should talk about the webinars too. And then decided to sign up for Rogue, came to Rogue, introduced himself to all of us. We all kind of fell in love with him. He's an older guy, was a cardiologist, and Matt coached him on his first deadlift ever, right? Yeah. Like that he was very cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a cool moment. Shout out to Matt for doing such a good job on that. But yeah, so, well, speaking of webinars, like Karn's knocking it out of the park. Like yesterday, was it yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah, with Ben Binkman.
That was incredible. Like, I've been like, it's funny whenever I do my own homework and go into insulin resistance, insulin sensitivity, going into YouTube, like he is top of every search. So it was awesome that she had the connections to be able to pull that off and like bring him in as an asset for the medical society and our affiliate owners.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how many people, I think most people know about it, but it's worth repeating that. I mean, I think in May we had like 5 webinars, like we're really doing a lot of them. And they're basically like Zoom calls with these incredible researchers, doctors, experts in the field. And they give a presentation for like, 45 minutes, an hour, and then it's opened up to Q&A. So if there's a topic that you're really interested in, we probably have somebody who's coming and talking on it. And you can get in there and have a dialogue with, your favorite author or your favorite researcher or whoever it is. And then if you can't make the live call, those are in your resource library. So you can always watch them later. And I think that is such a huge value add. Like, I just don't think that, I don't know anybody else in any of the fitness health space, any other medical society, or, even like the American Society of Physicians, like all these big things, they don't do this. This is really like something that is very accessible and cool. And it's you can develop a relationship with these people. They're really eager to connect with our audiences. And Karin has got some real all-stars. I mean, Dom D'Agostino has always been one of my favorites. He did one, I think it might've been earlier this week or last week. So they're really, really powerful, and they're really good continuing education in a more sort of entertaining format.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pumped to be able to interview Lori Hill here later on in a couple weeks. And, like I said, we're excited to get the Academy staff show going, and then be able just to like, the goal is in the future too, is like, hey, we're going to have affiliate only webinars designed around specific topics. So for anybody that's interested in a specific topic, we'll throw a call out there and be able to answer questions, bounce ideas off of each other. So this, like,
along those same lines, right? So like, we're going to have this one that's like Academy staff. We have this, the ones that we're doing now are mostly like metabolic health experts. But when we were in New York, we were all together, which is always nice because we always come up with a million other ideas of things we want to do. But because I was meeting with all of these executives from different fitness companies, we came up with the idea of like, what if we did that? Like, what if we did webinars with people who are run big, huge, whether it's like a franchise or it's a gym model or it's a service function, and get them to talk about like, what do they see happening in the fitness world, and what are the changes, and what are lessons that they learned. And I'm excited about that too, because I think it'll just give our owners even more inspiration for things that they could do that have been successful as a playbook from these other, major players in the industry.
Yep, for sure. Okay, so I think we've hit everything, anyways, or at least in my small brain that can handle.
I'm counting on your big brain, so don't say that.
At least my gray beard just makes me look wise. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody should pop in the comments if there's something else that we've done that we've forgotten. I feel like we have the diabetes class.
Yeah,
so we have the great type 2 diabetes class that we've been working on for about a year. And I think that should be released in the next couple of weeks. And it's really powerful. It goes through the history of type 2 diabetes and the history of treatment and why low carb works. And it does a, deep dive into Virta Health and interviews that I had done with, people in that space to sort of help illuminate why there is this problem, why the standard of care is to manage the disease and let it sort of progress rather than really nipping it in the bud and reversing it. And I think it's going to be a powerful thing for affiliate owners as well as your members. I mean, I think this is a tool that if you have somebody who has been, diagnosed with pre-type 2, or they have type 2, or somebody in their family does, it's going to be a huge point of education for you, but it's also something that we're not making them very expensive. I think it's like $150, $200 for these online classes. And my hope is that it really allows somebody to, it's pretty involved, but it's also the kind of thing that will allow people to be able to get in and have more informed conversations with their doctors and start thinking a little bit about their own role in all of this and how they can take control and have autonomy over their future health if they so choose.
I just remembered something. So kind of similar to that. It's like we want to get out on the road and we want to start visiting you guys. So if you could kind of, I put this in the Discord forums, but like please get content of what you're doing inside of your gym. Kind of basically like after you've taken the course or after you've dived into the extension course and how you're putting that into application in your gym. We want to come out and either get content, like send us content, and we're looking for cool stories to come out and capture and be able to promote on our channels. So please let us know what's going on. Like I'd love to get out and visit as many of you guys as we can and be able to just come say hello and see in real life. I've seen everybody on Zoom, but I want to get out and break a sweat with you guys. So it'd be cool to get that going. What else do we have?
Did you want to talk about the dashboards, or have you done that on all your calls with individual owners?
I have. I can share my screen. We can all go on a journey of me being a technological nerd together if we want to do that.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun.
All right, here we go, everybody. Hold your breath, cross your fingers. We're gonna. Oh man, I've got a lot of tiles here, so I'm just gonna ask for forgiveness ahead of time if you guys see anything. All right. So let's do that. And can we see that?
Yes.
Oh, look at us. All right. So cool. This is like when you'll hear me talk a lot about dashboards. And this is what my dashboard looks like when I log in. And this is obviously like if people are going to look me up, other affiliate owners, this is what they would see. But more importantly, like this is what we tell folks. This is kind of where we want you guys checking in daily or at least a couple times a week. And this is like this is your connection portal to everything MetFix related, especially like benefits of affiliation and all that stuff. So when we scroll, like this is just kind of about me, but when we scroll down here, we've got all of our upcoming events over here. We've got a cool directory. And the affiliate map, I'll get more into that in just a second. But the daily fix, I can't speak enough about how much value this adds to folks, and primarily just from the belly recipe standpoint alone. Every day that clicks off, the database gets just more and more valuable with the different recipes, and it's so cool to see like. You're used to seeing people like post their workouts and everything online, but now it's kind of transitioning more into like them posting their meals, which is definitely cool. But we got the recipe. We've got that actually looks really good today. We got the workouts, and of course we push out an article, and that article is either like health, nutrition, science based, something of interest for you and your folks. Got the affiliate map here.
And a lot of the affiliates are using that as a plugin, which I think, the idea behind that was to be able to give you guys useful content that you didn't have to manage, right? Like you didn't have to update it, just automatically populates on your website. So I think that plugin is really, a lot of people are liking that. And the next version, which we're calling 2.0, has really cool features in it. I don't want to say exactly when that's going to happen, but definitely by the end of the summer, it'll allow you to print grocery lists, which I think is a huge important update. And I think it's also, right, Dale, going to be able to allow you to pick if you want. So like a lot of the gyms do their own programming, we know. Yep. And so right now, if you use it as a plugin, you have to have all three, the brain, belly, and body, but you'll be able to select which ones you want. So if you have your own programming, no problem. You just won't select body. And then the plugin will feature, the meal and the brain. Whatever combo you want will be customized for your website based on your preferences, which I think we are very excited about. And then I think there's a couple of other really cool things, but I have a lot of ideas, and then and so I'm not supposed to tell people things because then it's like, it's going to take longer. So I'll hold some of that back. How's that?
Yeah, I'm like sensing everybody on the back end of the team, like, oh, please don't.
Emily, shut up.
Please don't. Yeah. So then so we got the map here, right? So the map is kind of cool. Obviously, we've all seen the map. We know what that looks like. But going back to the specialty populations, everybody who fills out an application is approved. Has a piece in there like, hey, what specialty populations do you work with or do you want to work with? And let's just say first responders, right? So we click that, and that's going to narrow the map down to other people in your area or somebody that you could connect with that is working with that specialty group. So not only does it do it by location, it does it by interest as well. And so you can just kind of see who's near you and connect with everybody on that interest list. And then over here on the content, this is what we're calling out content or our education library. And this is what we were talking about. Like, this is a resource, a repository of all of our educational content, right? And right now it's going by date. But it's got all the webinars, all the lectures, and this is the extension course that we were talking about. I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but just kind of so you can see it. So this is where, like, as soon as you get approved as affiliation, you'll have access to this.
Or as soon as you sign up for a seminar.
Right. Yes. And then it basically kind of takes a series of our lectures and breaks them down online. And the cool thing is, like, we want you to start digging this information right away. And it's a self-guided thing, but more importantly, like, you can start, this is everybody's favorite electron transport train. Like, hey, what the hell is that? Okay. So you can start digging into that. And then it's a great topic to pass along during your staff meetings. So all this stuff is on here as well. But like I said, and then if we go back.
Also, will you show people like where their contracts are? Like, there's a lot of admin stuff,
Yeah.
and a lot of education, right? That's obviously the focus. But on the side menu, we've tried to make things really easy for resources that you may need to refer to.
So we go to over here on docs. And like I said, like you're talking about, Emily, this is our one-stop shop. So we got one place to go to upload or be able to find whatever you need. So your affiliate agreement's in there. You can look at that anytime. We've got our branding packages and logos. So we've got everything as far as artwork and logos that you can use on your website. The very cool, the Daily Fix embed instructions. So, okay, well, this tells you how to take and copy and paste the code into your website. That boom, it pops up. So your members can start seeing the Daily Fix on your website. The really kind of cool, sexy stuff, privacy policy, terms of service.
But we also have, where do we have like the class picture?
The what?
Like class picture and all the fun stuff, like if you've taken the seminar.
I'm not sure where that is. Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But like your payment history, this is where you go to upload your insurance, all that stuff is over. Yeah, it's probably under your profile information. But at any time, you can always update this stuff as it goes along. But we tried to make it as simple. Yeah, so you can upload your own video, your photos, all that stuff is over here underneath the profile section. And then, of course, Jess would hate me if I didn't mention this.
Thank you.
But this is affiliate shop. So this is solely for affiliate owners, right? So these are really cool. So we've got posters that kind of talks about different things we cover in the course. And this is just like a really cool thing to have in your gym as far as a conversation starter goes on the nutrition. A lot of this artwork and stuff Connor has been working on. But you get flags, you can get banners, you can get hoodies, you can get t-shirts.
This is just for affiliate owners, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
So all that stuff is in here as well. Anything else you wanted me to take a look at while I was here?
I'm sure there is, but that's okay.
Yep.
Somebody asked about a type 1 diabetes class or information. We don't have a class, but we do have Luke, who's one of our doctors, who's type 1 himself, has started a forum that's all about type 1 and low carb and whatever. So if that's something that you're interested in and you're looking for more information, join that forum because they're sharing a lot of information in there. I know my sister's in there. There's a lot of fun stuff happening in there. So, and I mean, again, like anybody can start their own forum, right? So there's all kinds of people who are like talking about building kitchens. Like that's another really fun forum. And so if there's something that you're thinking about doing, but you're not sure how to do it, or if you start a forum, my guess is there's going to be somebody else in the community who's like, oh yeah, we tried that. It didn't work because of these reasons, or it worked because of these. Like, and you can kind of save yourself the heartache of having to replicate any failure that somebody else had by learning from them. And I think everybody's pretty eager to be sharing. So it's worth starting something if there's an idea you have, or, I mean, I definitely think like these special populations, whether it's elderly or it's type 2 diabetes, or it's, you know, people who are super deconditioned or new moms, like these are all areas where we have people in the community doing that work. And certainly it's to everybody's benefit to learn from each other.
Yeah, 100%. We're getting close to the hour mark here. Anything else we want to cover or answer any questions?
I don't know. Are there any other questions that people have for us?
And thank God, you don't know how nervous I am when I share my screen. I'm glad.
Oh, I can imagine. It's based on our weekly phone calls.
I am glad I've got that off my shoulders now.
Okay. Makes me want just share again. Let's see what pops up. Yeah, I don't know. I think we covered a lot, and I think we'll do these more regularly. I think
for sure. Yeah, and like I think, you know, for me, it's like I say this all the time when I'm doing calls, but and it's because the affiliate owners don't hear enough. But thank you.
Yeah,
it's a hard fucking job to have, and a lot of it's thankless, and you don't know the value you're having to your members and to your community until it's too late. A lot of times, but you know, we recognize that, like myself, longtime affiliate owner, a lot of the guys and girls on academy staff are in the trenches, owning affiliates, being on the floor. I'm so lucky that I get to have these calls and just get, you know, my cup filled every time I talk to these guys, and they're fired up. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys. Like we're coming out swinging for you guys, and we're pumped that you guys want to be a part of this mission. We're very excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, again, perfectly said. The only thing I would add to that is that, like, we really, as a team, are pretty hardcore about giving you guys what you want. So please suggest things. I mean, like some of the updates to the Daily Fix are coming from you all, and they're not things that we had originally thought of. So don't assume that we know and have decided not to do something. Let us know what you would like, and we will do our best to try to make it happen. For sure.
All right. You guys have a great freaking go crazy. Make sure the fireworks are pointed the right direction. I'm not saying somebody had a backfire at my place during the after party. That may have happened, but the goal here is we all enter 4th of July with 10 fingers and 10 toes, and we'll regain all of them.
And look for Dale and I being the American assholes on the 4th of July in London.
I can play that role well. All right.
I'll see you in London.
Yeah, I'll see you in a couple days.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much.